we're always out of alignment in some area of our life. And it doesn't mean that we're hugely out of alignment. We just, sometimes we're off just a little bit, but that little bit can make a huge difference. And alignment is simple, but it has a lot of moving parts to it. So lately, I'm not going to lie, I have been aligned with things that I don't like. and like, really, what does that mean? Well, align just means agreement or alliance. That's what being aligned is being in agreement with something. And I realized that, holy cow, I have been, believing the news, and I've been watching the media, and I've been listening to, all the doomsdays and the naysayers and, of like all of that. And it just, does not put me in a very prosperous place of mind. So let's talk about 8 gaps that are indicators that you are out of alignment. And these are gaps actually that you can close really, really quickly if you're in awareness with zero judgment and also kind of zero tolerance for when you realize, oh crap, I'm out of alignment, and let's get back into alignment with it. All right. So number 1, eye rolling, backbiting, complaining. I kind of group those all into one thing. Those are all indicators that you are out of alignment, because there are indications of resisting, right? When you're like, oh, please, are you actually receiving that, or you're resisting whatever it is that you're seeing or you're experiencing or whatever, right? So that's one indication that you are out of alignment with the things that you desire. Apathy. Apathy is another indication that you are out of alignment. It's been really interesting, because many times people think that hate is the opposite of love, and it really isn't. There's actually a really fine line between love and hate. It's why I love the enemies to lovers trope so much in novels, because there's such a fine line. But the opposite of love is actually apathy. Apathy is like you just don't care one way or another. But apathy towards your dreams is an indication that you are out of alignment, because really, if you're apathetic about it, you don't really believe that it's going to come. And so in order to brace ourselves or protect ourselves from an awful lot of disappointment, we just get apathetic about whether it comes to us or not. But that's an indication that we're not aligned. And you will always get the physical equivalent of whatever you're aligned to emotionally and in your mind. And so it's really important to know that. Being judgmental of yourself or others is a third indication that you are out of alignment with the life that you desire. Complaining specifically about the situation that you're in. When you're complaining, and you guys, like, seriously, I think we all love to complain. When I was finally getting into awareness of it with my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, I complain all the time to you. Holy cow, I'm so sorry. I need to stop my complaining, and I need you to help me. I need you to help me close this gap with the complaining, because we fall into this trap and we don't even realize that we're doing it, because we're so used to it all the time, and it's actually like socially acceptable to complain about our situations all the time, that we don't even realize that we're doing it. But here's the thing: when you're complaining about your situation, you are blinding yourself to the blessings that are literally found in the situation that you're already in. So when you're just complaining about it, you can't find the treasure. You can't find the good and the glory in that situation. And complaining also kind of cultivates a bit of a sense of entitlement with, what we think that we deserve and what we think that we should just have in our lives without any sort of effort on our own part in order to bring what we want to us. And so if that's striking a chord, listen to that chord. If you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, like I was when I was like, how many ways am I misaligned? Just like breathe into it, just acknowledge it, accept it. Don't beat yourself up over it, but really make a commitment to yourself that you're going to stop the complaining, at least for one day, and see how you feel, and then start a winning streak on it, right? Another way that we are out of alignment is when we have indifference to God or to your higher power. But if you followed me for any length of time, I'm a God girl. I'm a Jesus girl, and I believe in my Heavenly Father as my higher power, and whatever vocabulary you use, we're talking about the same source. But boy, we are in a world that is more and more indifferent and apathetic towards any sort of higher intelligence or religion, organized religion, God, faith, if any of those things. And we are watching society crumble before our eyes as we either say there is no God or we set ourselves up to be God. And we're not quite there yet. But any time that you have an indifference to God, towards your higher power, it actually blocks you from receiving more light, more inspiration, more guidance, more comfort, and more counsel towards getting you to the life that you desire. So watch that. And we've all have religious wounds. We have all been hurt by somebody in our church or in our religion before, but let's separate God from man, and let's separate doctrine from culture, and really go to church so that you can find God. Go to church so that you can connect with the Lord, and not so that you can find ways to be offended or look for, somebody to say something insensitive to you that then hurts your feelings. We're all flawed. We're very, very flawed, but don't let other people come between you and your relationship with God. Another way that we get out of alignment, another sign that we're out of alignment, it is ignoring the good that's already there. Now, this, for me at least, took the form of, yeah, but, when people are like, oh, this is so super cool. Yeah, but it wasn't this. Yeah, but it wasn't that. And I was... we've had this experience happen to us before, right? When we're wanting somebody to look on the bright side or wanting to cheer somebody up, and they're like, yeah, but, and we have also been the person that is yeah, butting, and true confessions. All right. True confessions. So I've run an event, a live in-person event called The Feminine Factor for about a year and a half as of this recording. And I love it. I love teaching. I love being with those women belly to belly. There's nothing like the energy of person to person in a room. It's so amazing. And these events that I hold are small and intimate. I want 20 to 30 women there. And I've never actually been able to get 20 to 30 women there. And off that event, I've had people that have decided to work with me more, and that's really, really wonderful. But it's a really, really powerful event to understand the power of feminine energy and it's how it works in relation to masculine energy and all of these different things. And I was talking with somebody in the business that I have an enormous amount of respect for, and I had told her of my disappointment in not getting as many people there as I wanted, but we had a really, really successful event. We'd ended up having a 6-figure event. And she was like, Allyson, you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. I'm like, I know, and I'm really, really grateful, but I would love to have more women there. I was yeah-butting it that it wasn't enough. And she was so kind. She was so kind, but I really was like, you know what? She has a really great point here. I don't have a problem. The amount of women who were there was the amount of women who needed to be there. It was a very powerful experience for everybody. In fact, she was one of the people in the room, and she was like, I know that you wanted 30 women that you could play with and that you could teach, and you could, we dance and stuff in the Feminine Factor as well. She's like, I know you wanted 30 women that you could dance with, but being a participant, I was like, oh, there's 8 of us here. This is amazing. I am going to get so much more attention. And she was absolutely right. She did. I can give more direct attention to 8 people than I can give direct attention to 30. So when I was yeah-butting, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not aligned with what I want. But I keep it real. I keep it transparent. # no filters on me. And so be in awareness, but no judgment about that. And so she helped me to be in greater awareness of that, and to realize, oh, okay, I've got some aligning that I get to do. And when that happens, when you're yeah-butting, you get yourself back in alignment with gratitude and appreciation. That's a really, really fast way that you can align. Another way, 7th sign that you are out of alignment with what you want is any time that you are in hurry, worry, or rushing, because all of these things are indicators of lack or scarcity. So think about it. Anytime that you're hurrying, anytime that you're rushing, you're like, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. We got to go faster. We got to go faster. All right. That's an indication that you are out of alignment because you're connected to lack and scarcity instead of prosperity and abundance in that moment. And so that dream life that you have, that goal that you have, you expect to feel a certain way when you get there, right? Of course you do. You expect to feel different from how you feel now. But when you get there, do you expect to feel worried or hurried or rushed? When you have that new reality, when you've changed your circumstances, is there stress in there? Is there anxiety and worry there? No, of course not. So if you're feeling worry or rushing or hurrying, that's an indication that you are out of alignment with what it is that you want. And so I heard it say, and I wish I could remember where I read this because I would give credit to the author, but he said, go as fast as you can without rushing and go as fast as you can without hurrying. Which was really fascinating to me because I took that challenge on, and you can tell instantly when you're in rush and when you're in hurry. And we all know when we're in worry, right? I think we're in it so much that it's kind of like this low-grade fever that we run these days. But if you'll just like jack up your awareness with that, then you'll see how often you're in worry. But make it a little game. When you're hurrying or when you're rushing, go as fast as you can without hurrying or rushing. You'll feel it instantly in your body. You'll feel yourself tighten. You'll feel yourself go tense because now you're in survival, and survival is connected with lack and scarcity. And it's an indication that you're not aligned with what it is that you want. So to realign with that, just take a breath, pull yourself back present into this moment, and then just ask yourself, how do I expect to feel once I have created XYZ in my life? And then move more into those feelings. But that's another episode for another day, or other ways that you can align. But there's just a little sneak peek there for you when you're in hurry, worry, or rush. And then skepticism. Skepticism is an indication that you are out of alignment. Have you ever talked with somebody that you're trying to explain something that you're really passionate about, but they're very skeptical of it, like it's probably not going to work, or they don't really believe you, and you can tell by their body language most of the time. Like a lot of times they'll have their hands crossed or whatever, or you'll just kind of feel this shield come up. Like my husband and I joke about it all the time because he's kind of skeptical, and I got a brother who's kind of skeptical, and so I'm like, oh yeah, like they kind of have this like prove it, right? Like people, when we're in skepticism ourselves, we have this like, okay, prove it to me first before I believe you. But when we're skeptical about our ability to create the reality that we want or to reach those goals that we have, we're out of alignment with that because by very nature of alignment, we've got to get into agreement with it. So if we're not believing it because we're skeptical that we're actually going to achieve it. So when we have this attitude of make me believe this before I believe it, which is what skepticism is, then that is a sure sign that we are out of alignment with what it is we want because we won't believe it. And if we won't believe it, we have a very difficult time receiving it because we're out of alignment with it. And I think this also applies if we're buying into somebody else's skepticism when we're sharing our dream, right? Sometimes we're very skeptical ourselves, which goes along with doubt. But when we're just like, well, make myself believe, is there any evidence I can actually do it? But when you're talking to somebody else about your dream and they're skeptical of your ability to actually achieve it, and you start believing them, well, now you're in that skepticism as well, which means you're out of alignment. So we just get back into alignment really quickly with backing that up with belief, backing our desire up with belief, and other ways that we can align to what it is that we want. Alignment is really, really cool. And alignment is simple, but it has a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot that goes on in our mind. There's universal laws that we have to obey in order to stay aligned with throughout the entire process, the whole creative process. And I actually created a monthly membership program program called Align Academy to teach you how to actually stay aligned, to get aligned and stay aligned or stay calibrated with the life that you want, with the money, with the health, with the relationships, with the faith that you are wanting to have, and all of those tools to create with no matter what is going on in the world. And if you want to join me for that monthly membership, there's no contracts, and you get a weekly trainings with me, you get a monthly live group call with me, lots of wonderful things in the portal and in the library that will all assist you in that process of alignment. Click on the show notes below. There's a link in there that will take you to the page that will tell you all about Align Academy, and sure would love to welcome you there and help you during this turbulent time to just continue to stay aligned regardless of permission and regardless of what conditions and circumstances say that you can and cannot create right now. Until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you. We'll see you then.